Hello, all you cool cats and kittens. Welcome to the KillJoy Jake YouTube channel, where it's time to talk a little horror, maybe even a little Alien Earth, maybe a little Scream 7 or Terrifier 4. I don't know, whatever you guys want to get into. Today, we're going to get into it.
University, you'll find flexibility.
And Franklin University, because that's the ad I just got on the stream. I guess we could talk about that too. Not sponsored. But hey, Franklin, hit me up, dog. What are you up to, Franklin? Let me know. Let me know. I'm just kidding. But welcome in, fellas. Appreciate you guys for stopping in. I see Red Hood Venom saying hi. Hi, hello, Reaper Kid. Yo, what's up? What's up? How's it hanging? Jab is hanging out with us saying, hope I don't miss out. I hope you don't either. I hope you're hanging out with us. Ready for a little chaos here today. RJ Skarenki's also here with us saying, watched Alien Earth last night. I found the first episode kind of slow, but the second one was better than expected. I don't know. I don't know if I found it slow, but I was there was, maybe minor lulls. I'll say that. Maybe it wasn't action-packed the whole time. I didn't want to give off the vibe in my review that I was giving this like a 10 out of 10. There's a lot of really good stuff happening, but I don't know if I'm all the way like sold on the show yet. But it is very good. If you have not seen it, I highly recommend. Honestly, it's a very strong 8 out of 10 for me right now. I'm really digging it, and I can't wait to see where it goes. And if you haven't seen it yet, you gotta give it a watch if you're an Alien fan for sure. So definitely a big day after for us Alien fans here. We're very exciting. Very excited to see what happens with this whole thing. I guess we're kind of left on a cliffhanger too. I just thought about that. Everything that happened with the brother at the end there. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what comes of this. It's a good show so far. I have some, a few little minor snags about it that was like, okay, that kind of bugged me, but the rest of it's fantastic, man. Really good concepts being explored, good ideas being built off of previous ideas in the Alien franchise that I'm really vibing with. Go watch it. We won't spoil anything. Check out my review if you have seen it though. We got Gory Tiger saying, what up, Gory Tiger? Welcome in. Horror Queen, hi, hello, welcome in. Flamingo Productions is saying, hi there, KillJoy. What's up, Flamingo? How are you? Freebird's food review. What you eating today, Freebird? Let us know. Saying, what up, dude? Welcome in. Appreciate you for stopping by. It's going to be a fun day talking horror, let me tell you. Ty Lee is saying, I really want to watch The Craft tonight. Oh, great movie. I told my coworker about it. She had never seen it and inspired me to pop it in. Oh, that's a good one, dude. That's one of my favorite 90s horror flicks. I love that movie. It's like it's basically the female Lost Boys. I mean, that's kind of how I view it. It's a very good movie from the same year as the original Scream. I don't even know what else to say about it. It's got a great cast, really fun plot line, good characters, crazy moments. Lots to love about that movie. Very good. A very good one. A very big surprise from the 90s catalog. I remember going into that thinking it was just going to be another like Scream feeling horror movie. Just like a lot of them are very similar to me, and it always just feels like Scream is the best one. That's kind of how I feel about a lot of those. But The Craft has got its own thing going on, still with a 90s sheen to it that I love. So The Craft, that's an easy top 10 from the 1990s for me. Blucka is saying the plot armor is strong with the brother. Well, he's the brother of the main character, of course. Of course he's got some plot armor. Come on now. Samantha Robinson is saying, Jake, did you see Wednesday season 2 part 1 yet? I have not. I've been, there's so much to cover. I've just kind of told myself, I'm like, I got to cut something out. What am I going to, what is that going to be? And unfortunately, I think Wednesday has gotten the axe. I already know I'm covering Friday the 13th tonight because I have to. That's, oh my God, that's nuts. I'm really excited to get into that short tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time when it drops on the Jason Universe channel. So I'll probably be covering that then. And then doesn't Jimmy and Stiggs come out this weekend? I really want to get into that movie. I really hope. I really hope that's this weekend because I am over the moon about that film. Cannot wait to see it. Looks like a killer splatter flick in my eyes. But I'll get around to Wednesday at some point. I watched season 1 and I really enjoyed it. So maybe at some point I'll get around to it. Universal Disappointment is saying, what is up, Jake? What is up, Universal Disappointment? Saying, hope you're doing well. Saw Weapons last week and holy fuck, loved it. Could have used more scares for best horror of the year, but it was still a solid 10 out of 10. Sinners still on top. I can't even argue with that, dude. I mean, you're talking about like what is, in my opinion, two of the very best of the year. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if Sinners is your number one, rock on to you, dude. Yeah, that's a killer movie. That blew my fucking mind first time I saw it. So Sinners has moved down to number 3 for me personally, but I love it. Like, I mean, there are people who are still calling it their favorite of the year, and I can't argue with that. It's a terrific film. It's also a 10 out of 10. My top 3 at this point just comes down to personal preference. They're all 10 out of 10s for what they are. And we've gotten a lot of those recently, man. Together, my top 10 is currently Weapons, Together, and Sinners top 3, I should say, of the year so far. And all 3 across the board, banger, 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 baby. So I'm just, I'm loving 2025 horror, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Wes Carpenter Flicks is hanging out with us. Thanks for being a channel member, my friend. Your support is greatly appreciated. Saying, are we talking about our alien Earth? With no spoilers, you know, let's not talk spoilers yet. It's still very fresh. It is also a 2-hour watch, which not everyone has that time. And I understand if you haven't seen it yet, because it is, I mean, it's 2 hours. You know what I mean? It's a long time to ask for anybody. We're all crazy busy these days. So no spoilers yet for it. But if you want to put something out there spoiler free, nothing wrong with that. Mr. Rick is saying, watched Weapons this past weekend. I enjoyed it. The hype was too much, but I really enjoyed the end. I love it when the villain, we're not going to say that either, because that's also a very fresh movie. But yes, Weapons rocks. If you have not seen it yet, go check it out. They're making a prequel, maybe making a prequel to Weapons, which is, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think it needs any more. It's a perfect standalone. Just leave it be. You know, not every, I saw, I think it was Andrew Salazar who posted something about like, just, this is a typical case of, they learned the wrong thing from a successful outing of a new movie. And I couldn't agree more. It's like, yeah, no, it's, we don't want this isn't a new franchise. That's not what this is. You haven't struck gold on some sort of massive ongoing horror franchise now. You've just created a great original. You took a risk with an upcoming auteur director, essentially, and it panned out. So maybe do that with more directors who are ultra creative like Zach Krager, and are willing to do some ambitious bullshit like that. So I don't know. To me, I agree. I feel like making a prequel is it's FUBAR. That's what I feel about that. Instead of putting money into that, just give Zach Krager a blank check. Give him as much money as his heart could desire to make whatever the fuck he wants next, baby. That's what I'll say. Flamingo Productions is also saying, can't wait to see Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3. You know what? I'm here for it too, man. But Blood and Honey 2, I think it's the most digestible watch from the TCU so far. It's one of the most fun too. So like, man, give me more of that. Give me some crazy sci-fi action. And also, you know, confirmed by the Twitter account last night, I was speculating that it might not be a slasher film. They confirmed that it will be a slasher, just a sci-fi slasher, and I'm so here for that. I'm so here for that. Give me sci-fi slashers all day, every day. What a great mix of subgenres. I'm all about that. So I cannot wait to see what this is all about. If you're like, Jake, why do you think it's going to be so sci-fi? Well, they hired a very prolific, I don't know if that's the word, but a very I want to say underground. I want to say underground sci-fi writer who I appreciate, who is what I'll say. Richard Stanley, he is a guy who is had a very interesting background if you look into it, but you know what? I'm a fan. I don't even care. There's a lot of weird things with his history, but man, he's made some crazy batshit movies that personally I really do like. If you guys have ever, the really obscure one is, what was that? I totally forgot the name of it already. Hardware, which is a movie I saw a very long time ago when I was getting into sci-fi horror. And then the most recent one, the more popular one, is Color Out of Space. And now he's penning the script for Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3. So it's gonna be sci-fi. Like everything this guy has done has been a little sci-fi. So I'm really excited to see what it all ends up being. But I think it's going to be fun. I'm here for it. Give me some more Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. I want blood and honey in my mouth. Give it to me. Let's see what's up. John Best is saying, Jake, how are you today? I'm fantastic. How are you? Welcome in, welcome in. Mandy Jean, yo, yo, yo. What's up, what's up? Dave Sim, what's up, everyone? Can't really stay to chat. You're still working. All good, no worries. You're falling asleep. Drink that monster. No, no worries, dog. I got an energy drink myself, so I understand. been one of those days, man. I have so much content in the works right now, ladies and gentlemen. We're bringing back the podcast. Hopefully I can post one of those bad boys, get those up every Saturday. Doing that with a buddy, which is nice. So I'm not totally alone in in all of this. He kind of had my back for a few things with that one, which is nice. We're relaunching the podcast with a movie that a lot of people have been talking about, and hopefully the hype doesn't die out by Saturday. War of the Worlds 2025. What better way to kick off your podcast than with a movie that's being called the worst of the year? I can't think of anything else. Nothing else comes to mind. But I am quite excited for that to release. We had Connor, my buddy Connor and I had a great time recording that, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. So, Faith Dorn is with us saying, hey, JK Chat, hope everybody is having a great Wednesday. Same to you, my friend. I hope you're enjoying Wednesday Season 2. We had a few questions about that already, so I hope you enjoyed that. If you watched it, I don't know. You just said Wednesday, and it made me think Wednesday, so... what can I say? Riley Rage is saying, just watch the late 80s horror Death Spa. Very fun. Have you ever seen Blood Beach? I don't know why that came to mind. Blood Beach, that's a film. That's that's something special. I'm a big fan of that one. Big fan of Blood Beach. That's what they need to bring back, man. We need a Blood Beach too. We need the remake. I need the requel. I want to know about what's going on that beach nowadays. You know, is it still bloody? Horror fans want to know, damn it. Twisted Film is saying, how you doing, Jake? Did you get everything done before stream? Either way, proud of you. Yes and no. Everything for this channel, yes. Not everything for the gaming channel. I did not sleep very good last night, which is hence the energy drink. I don't know what happened. We watched the first half of Alien Earth, my fiance and I, and we were both just exhausted. So we went to bed at like 9:30 last night. And whenever I go to bed too early, I just wake up like way too fucking early. I was up at 4:30 this morning and I've just been going ever since. So I'm a little down. I'm a little down right now, but we're making things happen, and I'm still getting a video out for the gaming channel. It's dropping tomorrow now, opposed to tonight, but it's coming. It's a really fun video talking. It's playing a demo of an upcoming game that's very similar to Resident Evil. Looks like it's getting into some sort of an original story, but Resident Evil inspired. Resident Evil Silent Hill inspired, I should say. It looks like a really fun game, and I'm excited to play through it. Give you guys a taste of this upcoming 2026 feature. We got ourselves a super chat from Wes Carpenter, by the way. Thanks for the $2, my friend. Appreciate your support. You'll watch Terrifier if you start Dexter. I really want to get into Dexter, man. It's just really tough to watch. Basically, anytime I get a second to sit down and watch something, it is literally for this page. Or I'm just at a point where I've worked myself to the bone all day that all I can do is YouTube, like dumb YouTube clips. That's kind of what it's been lately. I don't want to sit here and complain because I'm very thankful, but running 2 YouTube channels and potentially a third here soon, it's been a lot of work. So I can't complain, but it has been taxing, and I am just it's tough to get through a TV show where you should pay attention. You know what I mean? I don't want to be on my phone the entire time. Where like there's a certain point in the day after working from 7 a.m. to 8 o'clock at night, I'm just like, all I can do is queso clips. You know. Like, I'm just like, there's so many movies I need to watch, but I'm not going to watch it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll put it on and it'll be playing, but my brain is going to be somewhere else because of just the intensity of the day and all that. So I will watch Dexter when I can finally chill the fuck out again. But it's happening. And you should watch Terrifier, though, because the Terrifier movies are a ton of fun, my friend. Seriously, they only get better with each entry, I think. And I think you will have a very good time with those. Dexter is something that I want to give my 100% to, because it's something that I've heard from numerous people, especially folks hanging around this page, saying that it is so damn good. It's something you gotta watch. So I really want to, when things start to die down a little bit, we're entering the busiest 3 months of the year, which is real exciting. So I love this time of year. Don't get me wrong. I can't complain. When business is crazy like this, that means business is good. Dexter will be a November show, I think, for me, when things start to die down a little bit and I can chill out a bit. So Dexter, we'll get into that this winter. Wes Carpenter, thank you so much for the $2. Watch Terrifier. Watch all 3 Terrifiers. Make it happen. Thank you for the $2 as well, my friend. Which, by the way, I'm going to add that to our super chat goal of the day. If I actually set that up, which I forgot. We'll go for another hour if we can hit 10 of those bad boys. Haha. Ah. I'm doing my little. I'm practicing my what's his name? My Ian Malcolm laugh from Jurassic Park. You know when he does that. You know what I'm talking about. Never mind. Anyways, Rogero is saying, Jay, can you read questions that is up? I can read all kinds of questions. Throw them my way, buddy. Let's see what you do. Your worst with your question. That's what I say. Cats rule gaming. I agree. Who's bummed out after that scene in Alien Earth, huh? No spoilers. What's your favorite horror film of this year? Honest to God, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but Weapons, without a doubt. I was excited for Weapons. I was telling the Splattercast guys, I was like, oh, Weapons looked good. I was excited for it. Barbarian was one of my favorite horror films of 2022. I was not expecting it to be best horror film of the. I really was not. I was like, I could see this being in my top 10. Sounds like a really cool idea, total vibe, just not exactly like my most anticipated film of the year. I saw it with pretty high expectations, but not this is going to be best of the year expectations. It just blew all those out of the water for me personally. I was hyped about it. Walking out of the theater, I was like, this fucking rocks. I really want to see it in theaters one more time before it pieces out. We're going to see Fantastic Four tonight, which is, I believe this is the last week in theaters for that movie. Movies are only in theaters for 3 freaking weeks now, so I have no time to catch up on all these movies. It's crazy. We're finally seeing Fantastic Four tonight. I'm going to do a review for patrons for Friday, by the way, so look out for that. That's coming very soon. But I'm quite excited to see that one, and also Naked Gun. Hopefully I can get to that one as soon as humanly possible. Bobby is hanging out with us. Thank you, Bobby, for being a channel member, saying Dexter is my favorite TV show. I, again, heard so much love about this show. That's why I got to get into it at some point. And I don't want to half-ass it. There was a season 4 of Better Call Saul I half-assed, and I had to rewatch the back half of it because I was just exhausted watching that. I remember being like, I missed this, and that, and I got to just go back. So I ended up watching that season twice. And Better Call Saul ended up being it's probably my favorite show of all time. I have yet to see something that's of better quality than that. And I don't, if Dexter's this good, I don't want to half-ass it, I guess is my point. I'm excited for it. And it's not like a movie where you can just it's a one sit-down commitment. This is a TV show we're talking about, baby. Erica's hanging out with us. Thanks for being a member. Thanks for modding tonight. Really appreciate you a ton and letting the folks at home know that we got ourselves a bit of a super chat goal. So thank you so much, Erica. Thank you. Appreciate that a bunch. Mandy Jean, this is hilarious. Mandy's throwing a buck out there helping us with our super chat goal here and saying you can now buy 1 kernel of popcorn at the theater. This is unfortunately true. Dude, you know what? Again, I'm not complaining. That's not what I'm doing on this stream. We're here to have fun. We're here to talk about movies. But why the fuck is it $10 for a large popcorn these days? That's insanity. You know how much popcorn I can buy with $10 at home? Okay, we're done. See, that's it. I just need to get it out of my system. Owen is hanging out with us saying Art's origins could be revealed by the interrogation questions and go to flashbacks. Owen really likes my prison theory, I see. Guys, thank you so much for the views on that video, by the way. That absolutely rocked. Yes, I would love that. I would absolutely love an interrogation scene where Art's just sitting there being a dumb fuck, basically just doing this while the cops are asking him all these crazy questions and they pull his file and all that. You know what I mean? That's the scene I want from Terrifier 4. They're revealing all the backstory about who this guy was. And he's just kind of chained up there, That would be so fun. That would be really cool to put Art in a vulnerable position like that. And he just doesn't give a fuck. He knows he's going to get out of this. That's how we get his origins. We learned about who he was before he went all supernatural. That would be a lot of fun. I would be very into something like that. Blue Jay Spectre, hello, my friend. How are you? Welcome in, welcome in. Thanks for being a part of the horror stream today. Picky Piggy's also here saying, how are you, Jake? I'm fantastic. I'm real good. And I saw you were asking about what what stream was happening sometime in the future. We're playing Alien Isolation tomorrow night. We might do an impromptu stream Friday, potential, maybe, potentially, I don't know. But I definitely want to get a repo stream in this week because I want to play with some of the buddies. Get a group stream going over on the page at some point. So would love to make that happen at some point. GullGotha is gonna be a busy week for GullGotha. We got a big video going up there. A few more streams this week, so definitely go stop on by, go subscribe. Again, thank you for helping us hit that first level of monetization. Now we just have one more to go, baby. So help us out over there. Go check out some of the streams. It'll be fun. Samantha Robinson, thank you for being here with us. Appreciate you a ton. Darfalina, what's up, Darfalina? How's it going? You finally caught a live about Terrifier. You're damn right you did. Oh yeah, we're getting into some Terrifier 4. If you have any questions, any comments, concerns regarding the Terrifier franchise, let me know down in the comments, or the live chat, as the kids call it. We'll talk all kinds of things Terrifier, but again, we're here to talk all kinds of things. If we want to talk Scream, if we want to talk Terrifier, Final Destination, throw it out there. It's the jukebox of horror, baby, as John Carpenter once said. Marley Kai's hanging out with us too. Yo, what's up, dude? Justin Banner is saying, I was at a horror con a couple years ago and Damian Leone was there. It was his birthday and they had a birthday party for him, screened Terrifier 2 and everything. Nice. That was a cool experience. Oh my God, that's a lot of fun. That's sick. Damien is a great dude to meet. I think he's just so passionate about everything Terrifier and the horror community. He really does love making these movies. And you'll talk with him. Like, I told him some of my crazy theories and he's just like, he can't speak to it, but you could see the excitement on his face. I remember asking him something about Terrifier 3 specifically the last time I got to speak with him before that movie even came out, and he was like, I don't know, man, you'll have to see. He's like, oh, I can't say, but that's exciting. So it was cool. It's cool to see that passion from him. This isn't just a job. This is something he's always wanted to do. And I love that. You can feel that resonating off of him, and maybe even more so David Howard Thornton, who is just electric. Oh my God, I love David. I've met him a couple times now too, and he just has a great energy about him. The first time I met, actually, real quick little story about David. The first time I met him, I got to see Evil Dead Rise early before Horror Hound at in Cincinnati, Ohio. Great convention. Big shout out. Love Horror Hound a ton. And I'm sitting there in this seat just like waiting for the movie to start. And lo and behold, a tall man walks next to me with a Terrifier 2 jacket, and it's David Howard Thornton. He sits down in the row almost right next to me. And right before the movie starts, I'll never forget this. Like, I will see this flash before my eyes on my deathbed. He turns and looks right in my eyes. Right, like looks right at me. Turns like in his seat like this. And goes, here we go. And every time I watch Evil Dead Rise now, I just think of that. So I love him is what I'm saying. And he cracks me up. He's a goofy little guy. Jace Crawford, thank you for being a channel member, my dude. Saying, what's up, Jake? A theater near me is playing the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Monday. I have one near me playing that one as well. I'll be there for sure. I've never seen that one on the big screen, dude. That would be awesome. I'm so jealous of you, Jace. If I have time, I might have to figure that out, because that's a classic movie I would love to see in theaters. I got to see Jaws on the big screen a few years ago. That one's also coming back this month. Really was just so psyched I was able to see that one. I've seen a Jurassic Park re-release, Matrix re-release. Texas Chainsaw would definitely be one I'd love to see in the theaters at some point. That is a classic. I think that's just one of the best horror films of all time. It's terrifying. It's kind of a first of its kind too, I feel, in a lot of ways. I almost feel like in a weird sort of way, this is a weird poll, but Texas Chainsaw, I almost feel like there wouldn't be found footage movies if it wasn't for Texas Chainsaw. Like, I feel like the whole time I'm watching that, I'm just thinking to myself, this feels like a snuff film I shouldn't be watching. And I feel like that kind of inspired making found footage movies in a weird sort of way. NoWalk420 is hanging out with us. What's up, my friend? Saying, did you watch Alien Earth? I want to know if it's worth checking out. Yes, I put out a review of it talking about if you haven't seen it yet, maybe don't watch my review. I mostly just talk spoilers. But what I'll say is, yeah, definitely check it out. I'm not at like, oh, this is a 10 out of 10 yet, but there's a lot of very promising things about it. Lots of things I'm loving so far. And it's the start to a season of television. There's not a whole lot of payoffs for things yet. it's a lot of setup. Like seasons one, like episode 1 and 2 is a lot of setup for things to come, but there is still a lot of really satisfying moments. You get to see old Zini running around biting people's heads off and shit, you know? So lots of blood and guts just in those first 2 episodes, which is great. But also lots of setup with some of the fresher ideas being implemented into the franchise from Noah Hawley, series creator. And I'm really loving it so far, man. I'm really vibing with it. And I hope it finishes strong, because it's got a very, very strong start, even with a few little snags that I had to talk about regarding a certain animated character, which for those who have seen it, you probably know what I'm talking about. I'll never watch Ice Age the same again. Anyways, what else is going on? We got Michael C hanging out with us. What's up, Michael? How are you? Welcome in, welcome in. Hi, hello. What else is going on? Owen is saying Art's Origins. I already read that, Owen. Owen's just talking. He's like obsessed with this interrogation room sequence. Hell yeah, dog. I agree. I agree. Patton Jester is with us too, saying, so you're telling me you've met the legendary David Howard Thornton himself? I have. He's a very nice dude. I recommend meeting him. Very energetic, a living cartoon character is what I would say about him, and I mean that in the best way possible. He is a ton of fun, has a lot of energy, and he's just a dude, and that's what I think I love so much about him. I remember Horror Hound, that same convention, a few days later, I remember I was talking to some folks I met up with there, and David had happened to walk past us at this convention. I was like, what's up, David? Like, yeah, I don't know why I did that, but I was like, what's up, man? And he's just like, hey, like, he just like kind of always ready. He's always ready, and I love that about him. So much to love about David Howard Thornton. He's a silly dude. Mandy loves seeing classic horror flicks in the theaters. So far, I've seen The Crow, The Goonies, and The Blob. Ooh, very nice. I did see The Blair Witch Project when it originally came out back in the day. I am so jealous of you, Mandy Jean. I have talked about this. One of my biggest gripes with a horror classic ever is probably The Blair Witch Project. It's a film I want to love so badly, but I just don't. I think I would love it, though, had I seen it in 1999 when it dropped in theaters originally. If I had been fooled into thinking, yes, this is actually a real thing, I probably would have been fucking petrified watching it. But knowing it's not real, it is literally just 3 people screaming at each other in the woods for longer than 90 minutes, and I just don't like it. I wish I did, though. I really wish I did. I love found footage movies too, but I'm just not crazy about the Blair Witch Project. But I think had I seen it in 99, it would be a totally different story. I know so many people who did get to see it back then have such crazy nostalgia for it, about that very weird time, watching that flick and being like, is this real? Like, would they really release something like that? That's crazy. The internet was just viewed as something totally different back then, and that's so again, such a fascinating thing. I wish I could have been a part of that, but I was 1 year old when 1 year old, not 1 years. I wasn't even into years yet. That was a foreign concept to me by the time that one came out. Davey Deathray is hanging out with us too. What is up, Davey? How are you, my friend? Welcome in. Saying, hey, everyone, happy Sweet Revenge Wednesday, y'all. It is Wednesday the 13th, ladies and gentlemen, and for the first time in, 16 years, Davey? Correct me if I'm wrong, but 16 fucking years since we've seen Jason in anything, technically. Anything official, that is. Today, that changes. At 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we will see a 13-minute short film over on the Jason Universe YouTube channel, which will happen 3 hours after the stream concludes, that is. And we got ourselves we'll have ourselves a brand new short. I'm so excited, dude. I can't wait to see this. I will say we have some people talking shit about director Mike P. Nelson, which actually infuriates me. I think he's one of the most underrated voices in horror right now, making some genuinely fantastic flicks. But I think he's going to do a great job with this. And I hate to go into this with high expectations, but man, I am hyped. What can I say? It's Friday the 13th for the first time since 2009, dog. So let's go. Let's rock and roll with this. I'm here. I'm here, man. I'm here for it. I can't wait. Twisted Film is saying, Jake, the reason I love David Howard Thornton is that he's also autistic like me, and every time he pops up on videos, he's such an idol. I wish he came to the UK. He hasn't come to the UK? Really? Like for anything? I'm kind of shocked about that. Like for Words. HorrorCon. No, he's never been to a HorrorCon in the UK. I'm kind of shocked about that. I hope he does. I hope he does go over there at some point. I hope I go to the UK at some point. I want to get out there if I can, man. I love the idea. I just love the UK, and I would love the idea of actually going there in vacation. London is expensive though. I've looked into it a few times, and my God, it's an expensive place to go. I want to go there so bad though, so badly. It's a dream destination. The two places I want to go, which, I mean, I guess this makes sense. Two places I want to go are unbelievably expensive. London and Japan. I want to go. I want to go to Tokyo. I want to go to London at some point in my lifetime, and those are crazy expensive, my friends. But maybe one day. Maybe one day. Mandy Jean is saying it was the perfect. You were 11 when the Blair Witch Project came out. It was the perfect age to be forever corrupted into a horror fan. You know what's messed up about that is I was corrupted maybe even at an earlier age by my folks. I have so many stories about this, but I think the very best one is when my dad gave me the birds and the bees talk. He was, he told me, laid it out for me, everything that goes on between well, I'm not going to get into it, but he told me that, and he's like, okay, Jake, now we can watch what is, in my opinion, one of the best horror films of all time. And then he showed me The Evil Dead, and you might be able to figure out why he showed me The Evil Dead if you remember the tree scene. And I'm still kind of scarred by that in a weird sort of way. But I still, my dad cracks me up, man. It is such a weird thing that I may be scarred for life with, but I've been a sicko for a long time, I guess is my point. I love me some horror, movies. Can't wait to see what else we got going on with that franchise too. Man, we got Evil Dead Burn coming out next summer. I am over the moon about that release. Cannot wait. Davey is saying, at the risk of getting Erica's wrath for shilling my own shit, I am hosting a watch party of the premiere over on my channel. Oh, very nice. You're all good. Davey, you can self-promote here. You're cool. Maybe not everybody, but Davey, you can. I'll allow it. Oh my God. I love it though, Davey. Enjoy, have so much fun. I hope you enjoyed the short, man. Davey's saying my dad straight up gave me the birds and the bees talk with a medical book as a visual aid. The most 80s dad thing ever. Oh God. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, my dad didn't give me a visual aid, but I guess he kind of did with the tree scene from Evil Dead. I do remember watching Evil Dead for the first time, and he's just like, see, that's how it happens, son. And I'm just like, oh God. That I'm terrified, Dad. What is happening? We're gonna get off that topic. Flamingo Productions is saying we definitely are going to be when the start filming the Pooniverse film. I'm excited for that, man. Oh, Pooniverse Monsters Assemble, an Oscar award-winning film, I predict. Let me tell you. Unpaid Movie Critic is saying, hey, Jake, my plan tonight is to watch Weapons again in IMAX. Take me with you. I'm so jealous. That's awesome. And then ending it with watching Strange Harvest. Fucking take me with, kidnap me. I don't even care. Let's go. Let's rock and roll with that. I want to go to Strange Harvest so bad. I have no time, though. I think that would be an excellent double feature in the theater. I think it would, too. Strange Harvest looks killer, dude. It looks like a killer concept. We were talking this week a little bit about supernatural slashers with Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3. This literally is that. This is a supernatural slasher. And I loved the trailer for this. It's coming from the director of Grave Encounters, which also, speaking of found footage, love me some found footage, baby. I'm all about that. So rock and roll, dude. Let's make that happen. I'm here for it. Want to see, it's not, I don't even think the majority of it is found footage, but from the trailers, it kind of looks like some of it is. Strange Harvest, I want to see it. I want to inject it into my veins. It looks very good. A movie that I missed out on in theaters that I'm really bummed about, I ended up renting it on YouTube because it looked very good, was Marshmallow, and I really, really, really should have seen that in the theaters. I liked it quite a bit. Guys, one of the biggest hidden gems of the year is this movie called Marshmallow. I highly recommend watching it. It's a very fresh take on your camp slasher setup. Like literal camp, like a literal summer camp setup, and there's a slasher running around. But what actually is happening here? It's a very unique concept, and you gotta watch it if you haven't seen it. It's a really interesting film. It was very thought-provoking. I liked it quite a bit. It's currently in my top 10 of the year if you haven't seen it, and I'm like genuinely bummed I didn't cover it or didn't make it out to the theaters to see this one. So lots to love there. Am I going to cover The Long Walk? Yes. Is that this week? I've been like so focused on Jimmy and Stiggs. I've been trying to figure out when that's coming. No, that's September 12th. Right, I remember that. Yeah, no, 100% covering that one without a doubt. Jimmy and Stiggs is this weekend, right? Or maybe not. No, maybe I could have sworn it was this weekend. Maybe I'm crazy. It's saying October 4th, but I feel like that's a lie. But what do I know? I'm hyped. I'll tell you what about that movie. It's an alien splatter flick, which I can't name too many of those. That feels very fresh. And I'm very into that. I love that it's made by Joe Begos too. A big fan of his. Really like a lot of his weird movies. So we'll see. We'll see what this one's all about. It could steal the top spot of the year for me though, because I love a good splatter flick. Davey saying, I really wanted to enjoy Strange Harvest, but it didn't hit with me, unfortunately. Good acting, well made, but a little payoff. Oh, okay, that's no good. Trailer looks very promising, so I'm gonna check it out. I definitely want to see it for myself, without a doubt. Eli Cortez, what's up, my friend? Welcome in, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you for stopping by. Erica, thanks for the $2. Really do appreciate that a bunch. You're saying to support and spread the horror love. That means a whole lot. Here's a little love back right there. Thank you, Erica. I appreciate the support. It means a lot. I also really want to thank you guys again for helping us get GullGotha monetized. I am very thankful for that. It's been tough. It's been tough trying to make that happen, and we are nearly fully monetized over there. We got the first level, which is like the 3,000 hours, and hopefully we can get the next step sometime very soon here. So again, can't appreciate you guys enough for that. It's been a lot of help. A lot of help to make this next step of life a little easier. So definitely a lot of love there. Who else is with us tonight? We have Owen saying, do you think we will see Art's human face in Terrifier 4? Someone posted a picture a little while ago of, it was like they took Art the Clown's face, like a model of it, and they spray painted it like skin color, and they're like, this is what Art would look like without the makeup on if he doesn't have any like augmentations, like the nose with the hook on it and stuff. And it's like, there's no way, there's no way that's what this guy looked like. But, will we see David Howard Thornton without the makeup, the costume on? I don't know. I mean, I'm not totally against that. I feel like a part of Terrifier 4 is to make him vulnerable, is to kind of unsheath this character, learn a little more about who this person is. But at the same time, I don't know if I don't even know if I want to know everything about him. Maybe some things, but not all the things, I like when we leave things a little ambiguous. It's my same argument about why I don't need a Weapons prequel. And again, no spoilers for that film, but they're talking about doing a prequel about something that was left a little not fully explained. I don't need that. That adds to the horror of the situation, that this crazy thing is happening and it's almost borderline unexplainable. That to me is freaky as fuck. I am all about that, baby. Rock and roll with some elements like that. So Art the Clown, the only thing I really would like explained is maybe just a little more about just his something about his backstory. Technically, nothing's confirmed. I have my theories. I have my theories about maybe that side remark from the Demolition Crew about, there was a serial killer who used to live here in the 90s, that whole thing. I feel like that could be setting up some of Art the Clown's background, but nothing's confirmed as of right now. So maybe a little something, just a touch of what he was doing before, and then, I don't know, maybe we do something with that in a future prequel movie. But for right now, all I need about Art is just another stroke of the brush on this gigantic painting that is the Terrifier lore. Wes Carpenter Flicks is saying, yo, Jake, I never thought to ask, have you ever had ski pop? Gems? No, I do not know what that is. I'm so sorry. I have never had that before. Mandy Jean is saying Flamingo if it were the style of animated episodes of the Creepshow series on Shudder. I have not watched the animated Creepshow series on Shudder. Is that any good? I remember the live action series was fun. It was a fun watch. Nothing like no major standouts or anything, but there were some really cool little monsters and creatures running around there. Ella is saying, watching Weapons in a few hours. So stoked. Ella, I'm stoked for you. I hope you enjoy. Have a very good time. It's a banger. It's a banger, baby. Let's go. Enjoy. Flamingo is saying, honestly, Mandy Jean, I think horror can work very well in animation over live action, in my opinion. Anyways, P.S. Thank you for that, buddy. Hell yeah, I'm loving the love in the chat. I'm loving the love in the chat, man. Speaking of animation, I loved Predator Killer of Killers this year. Oh my God. You want to talk about horror working really well in animation? I thought that was awesome. Oh, it was banging. It was, what was interesting about it is there was like blood and guts that was exciting to watch, even though it was still animated. But there was also some really emotional moments. And I think that animation is this weirdly like underappreciated medium in a lot of ways, especially for that reason. You can still convey a bunch of different emotions with animated characters, even though I think there's a lot of people who are just like so against it for whatever reason. But animation, it's a great little side thing. You know, not everything needs to be live action to work, in my opinion. So you can tell some really provocative stories and do things you couldn't do in live action through animation. So I'm a very pro animation guy. I've watched a lot of some of my favorite movies are animated. So I'm always here for that. Erica's saying, want to chat horror for another hour after this hour? We'll send in a super chat of any value, and Jake will hit his goal and chat for longer. Hey, what do you know? That's crazy, Erica. That could actually happen right here, right now. Very exciting stuff there. Picky Piggy wants a Scooby-Doo animated movie where the gang goes to the Playtime factory from Poppy Playtime. That's hilarious. Well, we do. We have a live action series on the way, which is really exciting for Scooby-Doo. Who knows what is going on cast-wise for that? I would love to see Matthew Lillard reprise the role of Shaggy. I mean, come on now. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on with all that. But would love to see some familiar cast members from the past come back. We know that Linda Cardellini is going to be in this new Crystal Lake series. Will she also reprise the role of what was she? What is it, Velma? Yeah, she's Velma. I don't know why for a second I thought Daphne. That's Sarah Michelle Gellar, but yeah, no, would love to see her reprise that role. Hopefully at some point in the future, that would be fun. That's the Legacy sequel I can't believe we haven't gotten yet. More Scooby-Doo live action movies. I mean, so many people fondly remember those and have talked about them quite a bit. And you know, are they perfect movies by any means? No, but they're so much fun. Oh my God. The cast alone, it makes me want another one so bad. So I think they're a ton of fun. I would love more with that. Samantha also always wanted to go to Japan. I love that. You want to see the giant Pikachu parade? They have a whole like not a Pokemon parade. They have just a parade for Pikachu. Rock on, dude. I love it. I love it. I love it. I guess he is like probably the most popular Pokemon, right? I would imagine that's the most recognizable one. Squirtle might be my favorite just because of the way he talks. He does like the Squirtle. Like I love Squirtle's voice. 10 out of 10. No notes. Squirtle. Like oh my God. I could just do that to myself all day long and just have fun with that. Jab is saying, now we finally found out who Tio plays in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie. He plays Alex. He's a paranormal hunter. Maybe he gets caught in Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and gets ripped to shreds being pushed into one of those costumes, right? That could be fun. That's what I still want to see in the franchise. We've yet to see a child get squished in there and mushed into jelly. I mean, I'm just saying. That is part of the franchise. I love that a lot of people are starting to notice this. Is that a Jacksepticeye icon on your mini fridge? It sure is. My fiance made that a very long time ago, and she's like, "You should put this on your fridge and see if anybody notices what it is." And I'm glad it's there. It's kind of sick. So, I watch him quite a bit. Him, Mark, and Queso, I guess, are like kind of those are the guys I watch the most probably. But a lot of fun. We've been watching a lot of gaming content lately, just like, again, like end of the night, got to turn your brain off kind of shit. It's just been kind of nice just to dive into some of that lately. If there's a public domain or not public domain property you really want to turn into a horror, what would it be? That's a really good question. What's a property I would want to turn into horror? Just in general, what's something that could be like taken down that horror horror rung, spun in a different direction? I'm really trying to think here. I feel like there's so many great examples. Like I remember watching movies and telling myself that could be a horror film. I've done that so many times, especially recently. Man, I'm really trying to think of something off the top of my head. I know, like, as someone who's always in the space, the mindset of horror, like, I'll watch something outside of that genre, and I'll just say to myself, this would be a crazy horror movie if you just like twisted a few knobs. You could make this something else entirely if you just like changed a few things. Really trying to think. There was something that I was like, you could turn this into body horror. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm just gonna, for the sake of answering the question, I'm gonna go with something like Lilo and Stitch. The idea of a little alien comes to Earth, crash lands here. It's super dangerous, befriends a little girl, and then terrorizes the town. I mean, that could be a ton of fun. That could be pure insanity. I would be so into that. Samantha's also giving me a save here in the chat, saying horror version of Pokemon. That could be sweet. I like the idea of like you go to an island somewhere and there's a bunch of like little monsters running around that you got to collect. That could be fun. Maybe a little more evil. Maybe a little more evil than the Pokemon we know and love. They're kind of cute looking, like they got to be razor sharp teeth, scaly skin and shit, right? I don't know, something along those lines. That could be fun. Have I ever been to Ohio, or do I listen to 21 Pilots? No to either of those things. I've never been to Ohio one time. Owen is saying, what's your favorite Friday the 13th movie? It's so hard to pick just one. I think the easy answer is part 6 because it is like maybe the most fun watch. But I think part 4 is maybe my favorite overall. Part 4 rocks. It's I don't know. It's the most Friday the 13th movie. Does that make sense? I don't know. Love part 4 to death. The final chapter rocks. Great, some hilarious characters, over the top deaths, campy moments. What's not to love? A great ending too. Corey Feldman basically taking out Jason. That's fun. I like that. David, thank you for the $2, my friend. Appreciate the support. You're saying, have you watched Gravity Falls? That could be darker. Oh, okay. So kind of the idea of like a national park with all these like weird hidden secrets, maybe government conspiracies and monsters lurking around. That could be cool. I'm into that. I could vibe with something along those lines. I like the idea of doing something where it's like maybe a bunch of park rangers and they're like, they guard this national like forest park, whatever. And they know about some of the, evil shit that lurks there, the crazy secrets, and they have to like keep it out. That could be really interesting. I like that quite a bit, man. Gravity Falls, but darker. That could be fun. That could be a whole show, whole series. That could be something right there. Gravity Falls is a very fun watch, by the way, if you've never seen it. That is a really cool little series. It's a quick watch. You can probably knock it out in a weekend if you were really committed. Outside of the realm of horror, this is something very, very fun and also animated. Sticking to the theme tonight. I love it. David, thank you for the $2, my friend. I totally agree. Gravity Falls, but darker. I like that. Some cool ideas in that show. Hey, Val Janowski is joining us. What's up, Val? It's been a long time. Welcome in. You had to stop in and show some love by hitting that like button. Good afternoon, Jake, Erica, and all in the chat. Thanks for being here, Val. It's been a while since I've seen you, so thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us. Means a lot. Picky Piggy is saying, I want a Scooby-Doo horror movie. Have you seen Scream? Check it out. It's pretty good. No, I'm just kidding. I feel like Scream or Scream-adjacent movies have like a Scooby-Doo vibe a little bit to them, which is, I think, part of the appeal. You would love to see Dogman in a horror? What the fuck is Dogman? Is this a half man, half dog? Because, dude, if that's what you're talking about, I have got a crazy short film for you. Check out VHS Beyond. Check out what Justin Long and his brother did in that movie. It's insanity. What else do we got going on here? Everyone's saying hi to Val. Good. Say hi to Val. Val's real nice. We love Val. Mandy Jean is saying 7 more super chats and we can hold Jake hostage for another hour. You could. You theoretically could. But speaking of 7, I do want to talk a little bit about Scream 7 tonight. A movie that I'm excited for, but I am very on the fence about overall in terms of my expectations. Things I'm hearing good things about, some not so good things about. I don't know. I don't know. I want to be convinced that this is going to be something banging. I'm not 100% on board quite yet. I will say, and I had somebody, Fort Misery Gaming, if they're here tonight, they actually asked me, they're like, Jake, you've been hinting at the idea that you know some things about Scream 7 you can't share. I can't. I genuinely cannot share some things that I do know about Scream 7. But what I will say is I know some things that are positives that I can't talk about. I know it sounds like I'm talking about negatives all the time. Like I feel a little like I'm a downer on Scream 7, but it's honestly because some of the positive things that I do know and have confirmed it's good stuff, and I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hint, allude to it, or nothing. We're not here to spoil things. We're here just to build hype. And I will say there's a lot of things I can't talk about that I'm very excited about regarding Scream 7. Things that I think people are going to really like seeing on screen. If it's what I'll hint at and what I'll kind of say without spoiling it is how they use some of these characters. I'm a big fan of. I'm really vibing with the way that they've been doing that. So I know some things about some of the characters, how they're being utilized, and I'm really liking it. It sounds like this movie's very thought out, despite some of my worries with the scripts not being completely thought out. Because you got to think this is a rehauled script. It's been confirmed by the writers, they were gonna bring the Carpenter sisters back. This was gonna be a whole thing. It was gonna be the last, maybe not the last Core 4 movie, but it was gonna be the trilogy ender to the Carpenter sisters story. And then that just didn't pan out. So that now they've rehauled the entire script. So I guess that's just left a bitter taste in my mouth overall, but it sounds like the story that they've reworked to make a Sydney story now. It sounds like it's gonna be something pretty decent. That's what I'll say. So I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be a good sequel. Am I expecting this to be, am I expected to be blown away over the moon by it? Maybe not, but I definitely think it's going to be something. I think it's going to be something good. It's going to be a solid middle of the road sequel that will satisfy Scream fans. And that's what I want so bad. Erica is tempted to message me and spill the beans, but I don't want to know. What do I do? I don't think you want. There's two things you definitely don't want to know. That's what I'll say. I'm actually upset that I know them, but I will not share, unfortunately. Wes Carpenter is saying, why did I think you lived in Ohio? I don't know. I don't live in Ohio. Where do I live? Where could I be? I live in Ohio. I'm just fucking with you. Yeah, no, I do. Bond is saying, I believe Sienna will die in Terrifier 4 while killing Art, continuing the religious metaphors, possibly by falling into the pit of hell. I love your new theory, by the way. Thank you so much, Bond. I appreciate that. You know what's interesting about this is, yeah, there's a lot of religious tie-ins, a lot of parallels to that, and Damien has even confirmed some of that stuff. I feel like we're doing, because like she's on the hero's journey right now. She's a Christ figure, totally, like the idea of the rise, the fall, the comeback. I feel like with the last two movies, her two appearances in the franchise, if Terrifier 2 was her rise, Terrifier 3 was her fall, losing all of her family members, essentially. Terrifier 4 will be the comeback. So I totally see what you're getting yourself into, but I don't think Sienna's gonna die. I think she's gonna come out on top. And that would be, I'm cool with that, because it would be something different from the franchise. Because every single time somehow Art the Clown has kind of come out on top, somehow come back, resurrected, or whatever. Even though it felt triumphant in the moment, like in Terrifier 2, cutting the dude's head off. That was great. But then he just kind of comes back. He gets rebirthed in a very disgusting, brutal after the credits sequence. And then, Terrifier 3 is maybe even worse. He kills everybody and gets away with it. It's like, oh man, this was Art's movie, basically. That's so upsetting. Definitely had a mean spirit to it. Terrifier 4, I feel like, is going to be this triumphant, like a real triumphant victory over Art. And I think I'm okay with that, because it would be different. Again, we haven't really gone down that route, and it makes sense to go in this direction. Don Keenum is hanging out with us. What's up, Don? How's it going, man? Jake, making a short film. Good luck on that, my guy. Saying, was curious what editing software you used and how you scored your short films. So especially for making a short film, I recommend DaVinci Resolve. I have the free version of it because I'm too cheap to buy the the full version of it, but the full version isn't much different anyways. Just download the free one. You'll be fine with that, trust me. The biggest reason I recommend this one is it has an industry grade coloring program. Like most movies are colored in DaVinci Resolve anyways using that software. So I couldn't recommend it enough for that reason. So it's a good one to learn. If you already are familiar editing wise with like Adobe Premiere or any of the other softwares out there, you can also just apply the same keyboard shortcuts to DaVinci Resolve. There's a way to do that. It's super easy. It's free. Couldn't recommend it enough. So I would definitely recommend editing there. And how I scored the short film, we used actual instruments. So my sister actually has a recording studio. So we used real synths, real what did we use? I played bass. I had synth. And we had like a drum machine, not a real drum, for some of the just the kind of bass drum vibes in the background there. But yeah, if you want to do something a little more less, sophisticated than that, I would just get you can download you can find programs that are just has a synth in it, and you can do like a very loose mix to make it essentially just work for like a YouTube short. I think I really think one of the best things that's kind of mostly free is something that I used a long time ago, Soundtrap. I recommend that program if it's still free. The other one that I think is way better but a little more sophisticated, and I'm totally forgetting the name of it. Oh man, what is the name of that? There's another music one that's a little more, it's a bit of a learning curve. I don't remember, fun fact. I don't remember it at all. I remember Soundtrap. I don't remember this one. I'm going to look it up sometime and I'm going to send it your way, my friend. But DaVinci Resolve for editing for sure. And Soundtrap is not bad for if you want to make some spooky John Carpenter synth music. So I recommend it. Some fun stuff there. Devontae's talking about Bone Lake. I heard about this movie too. It's got a wild poster if you guys haven't heard anything about this. It is literally two skeletons boning. That's what the poster is. I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. Crazy. Crazy shit there. But Bone Lake sounds like it's going to be fun. I'm here for that. I'm here for some wild ass horror movies that are getting into some 80s old school vibes is what it sounds like to me. No, for sure. Don saying, super helpful, my friend. Thank you very much. Impressed you scored it yourself. Kudos. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's why it took a year to make that short film. So it took us a very long time to make that. We did a lot of it was really 3, 4, 5 people doing a lot of the behind the scenes stuff on Chicken Man. So it was fun. Real fun time making that. I'm very glad we were able to get out there and do it. Hopefully we can do more again in the future. What else is going on here? Astral Austin is saying They Follow is in pre-production. Curious to know what you think they'll do with how It Follows ended. I think the story will be similar to what has been predicted for Smile 2's sequel. I'm so on the fence about this film. I really am. I want to be super hyped up and excited for it. It Follows, I've talked about this before, one of my all-time favorite horror films. Guys, you want to talk about score? You want to talk about how that, influences a movie? Oh my God, the score for this film rocks so hard. I love it. I love it so much. It Follows, great concept, great score, great characters. There's just so many boxes it checks for me. It's got some crazy scares and blood and guts, lots of fun stuff happening in It Follows. But now they're doing a sequel. It's in pre-production. It's moving slowly, but it's moving, just like it's a central antagonist, right? I'm here for it, but like you said, with how the story ended in the original It Follows, it had an ambiguous ending. That's the best way you can end a horror anything. I don't think you can end horror better than with some ambiguity to keep the terror going beyond the credits. If you just wrap everything up all nice and neat, that's just okay. That's where the terror begins and ends, essentially. I think one of the best ambiguous endings is the ending of the original Halloween. They think they take down Michael Myers, they shoot him off of a balcony, and then Dr. Loomis looks over and he's gone. The imprint in the grass. And that's it. You just hear his breathing all over the town. He could be anywhere. He could be in your bedroom tonight. That's freaky, man. I love that. And call the movie goofy now, whatever, I don't care. It's still effective. It Follows, it does something very similar. You just get the suggestion that maybe they didn't actually take it down and it's still following them. But now with the existence of a sequel, it's like, yeah, that is what it was. There's no debate anymore. That was like the most fun thing about It Follows was the ending. Was it like, did they stop it or did they not? Now we know the answer. And I feel like that's no fun. I don't know. Halloween, honestly, I weirdly feel the same way. I love a lot of the Halloween sequels, but I never needed 13 movies in that franchise. Is it 14 now, if I'm not mistaken? Or no, it's 13. Yeah, it's 13. I don't know, man. I love Halloween. It could have just been one movie, honestly. That might be a hot take, but I love the Halloween franchise, but if it was just one movie, I would have been fine with that. I feel the same way about It Follows. It doesn't need a continuation. I'll see it. I totally will, and I'll get excited about it because, fuck, it's a sequel to one of my favorite horror movies. Of course I'm going to check it out, but it doesn't need any more than what we already got. Pat and Jester just got done watching Megan 2.0. Gotta be honest with you, I had a lot of fun with it. Sure, it's nowhere near as good as the first one, but I actually really enjoyed it nonetheless. I definitely had fun with Megan 2.0, but it loses a lot of the stuff I liked about the first one. Like, it's not a killer doll flick. You know what I mean? I think that was like my biggest thing. I'm like, why did you make a sequel to, like, it would be like making an action movie out of the sequel to Child's Play. You know what I mean? I think that was my biggest issue that kind of I leaned towards negative with my review. Even with that, though, I will say Pat and Jester, I agree. Like, it is still a very fun movie. It was definitely not bottom of the barrel from Blumhouse. They have put out way worse films. I've said this before many times. The worst thing a movie can be is boring, and that movie is anything but. So is like Blumhouse has put out some stinkers, some slogs, some movies that have just bored me to death. Woman in the Yard maybe being one of the most recent from them that I was just like, oh God, this was a drag. This dragged on, but that movie was a lot of fun. I had a good time with it, even if it had some issues conceptually that just had me scratching my head. David Primero, thank you for the $5. Thank you for supporting the page. You're helping us out with our super chat goal here. We're almost halfway through, ladies and gents. You're saying Julia Garner came a long way from having a wolf husband to being a Silver Surfer, serving an alien, and now an experienced. Oh my God, I can't say that, David. I love you, man. Thank you for the 5, but we can't be spoiling movies out here. Hey, I appreciate it though a ton. What I will say about Julia Garner is that I totally agree. She's come a long way this year. I saw her in two horror movies before I saw Weapons, and both of them I did not like. One of them was Wolfman, and I just remember being like, "What the hell is going on?" The reason I was so frustrated is because Julia Garner is phenomenal in the first role that I ever saw her in, Ozarks, is that a Netflix series? Where is that? I don't even know where that lives anymore. But man, Ozarks was so good. I loved it. Loved Ozarks. Terrific series. I never finished it, but I saw a lot of it. And I got a lot of Julia Garner's performance from that, and she was the standout of that show. And that is saying something when you're playing against Jason Bateman and I can't remember the other lady's name who's in that, but she's a super famous... Oh, man. Laura Linney. I'm like, who is in that, dude? I can't remember. Yeah, man, that's saying something when you're up against Laura Linney and Jason Bateman, but she's the best part of that show. I'm just going to be so real. Wow. But yeah, no, she rocks. Great actress. And then I just remember seeing, was it the Rosemary's Baby prequel that she was in? Just like, whatever, kind of bland. And then Wolfman, which was probably the biggest disappointment of the year. For me, I'm going to be so honest with you. I love Lee Winnell, like genuinely one of my favorites in terms of like horror creators out there. Dude wrote Saw, Insidious, has directed some great movies in my opinion, Invisible Man and Upgrade, that the latter there being in my opinion the most underrated horror film of the 2010s. I don't hand that medal out to just everything. Upgrade deserves it. That movie needs more eyes on it. One of the best twist endings in Lee Winnell's career, and that's also saying something, ladies and gentlemen. But Julia Garner, an actress who was just so excited to see in Wolfman, and it's a movie that pooped the bed totally for me. Very predictable plot, really boring, not a whole lot going on in this movie. The action and tension was just not there with this film. Major bummer. And then Weapons comes out, and I'm like, thank God, someone finally figured out how to use Julia Garner in a fucking horror movie. Let's go, dude. So I was very hyped to see her give an excellent performance in that film. Had me very, very happy. And I hope to see her in more horror flicks in the future. Good ones at that. Because she's a great actress, man. And I love all the different kinds of characters she's able to play. Lots of versatility with this actress, and I don't know, definitely want to see some more from her. I'm seeing her in a new movie tonight. I haven't seen Fantastic Four yet, and I'm seeing it tonight. I'm really excited for it. Again, Patreon review is going up on Friday, so give it a watch when that drops. But yes, I can't wait to see what she's doing as the Silver Surfer in this movie, a very popular character that she's taken on the role of. Hopefully it's good. I'm sure a lot of you already know, though. David, thank you again for the 5, my friend. I really do appreciate your support. It means a lot throwing a super chat out there. Thank you. Shawnee Mackey is saying, do you think Sydney will ever die in Scream? I hope not. I don't think I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I've been so against bringing back Sydney in the first place, is that she won't die. And I would hate to see her die, too. She's a character that I feel we have to preserve in Carbonite. Like, that's where I'm at with Sydney Prescott. I would hate to see her get the Laurie Strode treatment, like what's happened to that character. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't think I could ever... This might be an insanely controversial take, but I don't think we could ever list Laurie Strode as the greatest final girl of all time now. Which... hot take, maybe, I don't know. But with everything that's happened with that character throughout some of the other movies, I can't justify it. Like, there's been too many bad plot lines with Laurie Strode for me to say that she's the best final girl of all time. It's not even in the question anymore. She might have been kind of like the first one to do it, technically, but I don't know. Killing her in Resurrection, wow, big stinker. Everything they did with her trilogy with David Gordon Green, trash. Major missed opportunities all over the board. As it stands right now, Sydney Prescott is my number 1. That could change, though. If they take the character down a crap timeline with Scream 7, Scream 8, whatever, that to me would really suck. That would ruin what is, in my opinion, as it stands right now, the best final girl out there in a horror movie. And that would be such a bummer. So that's why, to me, my opinion, Freezer and Carbonite, don't do any shit storylines with her, because that would suck. I know everybody wants to see Sydney Prescott back. I love Sydney. Like I said, she's my favorite. But bringing her back and doing a shit story with her could ruin the character, and it has ruined characters for me in the past. So I think that would suck. Don't want to see that happen. Got some super chats rolling in, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate that a ton. Erica saying, got to get you at least halfway there. Woo! Thank you, Erica. I really appreciate that. Means a lot supporting the page. And also, Erica, I appreciate you throwing out. So I forgot to say this at the top of the stream, but I really appreciate you sending me some really cool emojis. If you're a member, by the way, if you're a channel member right now, you can use a bunch of new emojis. That's a new perk you have as a channel member. It's a little thing, yeah, but it's still cool. Some ghost face emojis, a bunch of crazy bullshit. I threw in there. There's some Art the Clown ones. There's a Michael Myers. I think there's a Jason one too. So. Lots of stuff in there. So again, Erica, thank you for the $2. Thank you for your constant support of the page and constantly making things a little bit cooler here all the time. So Erica, thank you again for the support. Davey Deathray also throwing $2 out there. Thank you, Davey. Saying, show the man with the golden voice some love. That's you, Davey. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? Oh, come on. Come on now. Davey, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the $2. Really does mean a lot. Hope you're doing well, brother. It's been too long since we talked. You're gonna have to come on this podcast we're doing. It's been a lot of fun developing that and figuring it all out. So thank you for the $2 again, my friend. Hope things are going good over on your page. Twisted Film is saying, any news on Chicken Man 2, Jake? It's my most anticipated film. You are too kind. Oh my God, I appreciate it. Well, you know, here's where I'm at with more Chicken Man. I want to do it. It's a project that I have laid out. I have some crazy ideas. We know what we want to do for it. It's just a matter of how. Unfortunately, you know, I want to make this a feature film. That's what I want it to be. I look back at Red Right Hand and I'm I want another shot at that. I want to make a feature film I'm a little more proud of. It's Red Right Hand's a movie that it's the first project I basically ever did. And there's problems with it. There's things I don't like about it. There's things I wish I could have done better. And making more Chicken Man, I feel like would be awesome. Like a true original thing that's kind of a slasher, it's got like a supernatural edge to it too. And I really, really, really want to do it if I can. I know exactly what I would do for it too. It's just a matter of we need to raise some funds. So what's been going through my head, where the planning stages with that is that we want to get this channel up to a certain point. And then potentially fund some sort of Kickstarter campaign. But it's, let's be real here, the channel is still small. I talked about this on a channel before that I think I consider any channel under 100,000 subscribers small. And we should consider those channels small because let's just be real here. It's tough to, it's tough to do this when you don't have that many people watching videos or supporting the page, whatever. And I think that if we had that many people, we could actually fund the feature, get it to the amount we would need. But unfortunately, we're a long ways away from that. So for right now, I think I'm not even gonna lie, there was talks about doing something this fall. There was talks about it, and I'm just like, no, I don't want to just inch my way there. I want to come out the gate with something fucking awesome. I don't care if we gotta wait. Let's do it. So it's in the works. We're making it happen. It's gonna happen. It's just gonna take some time. But we're moving along with it. I want to do it right. I don't want to just put something out just to put something out. Be like, oh, here's me in the fucking chicken mask running around killing my friends again. I want to do something a little more than that, and hopefully we can do that very soon here, sooner than later. Few people joining us here. We got Tid Morgan saying, literally just got done watching Together. Not sure if I liked that. It's a weird one, man. I really liked it. I told my Letterboxd review of that was I'm terrified to tell my fiance how much I liked this movie. But man, I really enjoyed Together. It's a wholesome body horror movie, which is a weird mixture, but man, did I vibe with it. Let me tell you. I don't know, I had a good time with it. Interesting movie. I love body horror though, so what can I say? Mandy Jean, thanks for the buck. Appreciate you for the support. Means a lot. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Infinite Sky is here saying, ooh da lolly. What's up, Infinite Sky? Welcome in. Thanks for being here. Grace Cicada saying, top 3 final girls, Terrifier, Sienna, Mia, Evil Dead, Cindy from Scary Movies 1 through 3. You put Cindy above Sydney? Brutal, dude. That's real brutal. She's funny though. Cindy cracks me up for sure. I love saying Mia from the Evil Dead. That is such a great choice. I totally understand that there. And Sienna from Terrifier. I mean, this could be my top 3 right here. I'd be okay with this. I'd be okay with like Sydney Prescott, Sienna Shaw, Mia from Evil Dead. Yeah, that could be sick. I think Sydney's such an easy first place because we do have like full stories with her that I actually really like. But I think we haven't seen all of Sienna's story yet for me to call her number 1. Mia is a character who's only in 1 movie too, so I feel like that's a tough one. But she rocks. She also rocks. So, Just Jess, what's going on? Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I appreciate the $5. You didn't have to do that, Jess. Thank you. But what's up? How are you? Welcome in. What horror movie are you excited for, Jess? I know you love horror maybe more than anyone here. So let us know which movie you're the most excited for moving forward. Jess, thanks for the 5. Appreciate you. Only a few more super chats to go to get to our goal here. So that's real exciting stuff. Justin Proper, what's going on? Don't make any more movies until you finish Rats in a Blender. Rats in a Blender is already a thing. It's a short film within Red Right Hand. There you go. The chicken thing can wait is so funny. Justin, thanks for hanging out with us, man. I appreciate you a bunch. Thanks for being here, dude. KC Mack is saying, do we really need a prequel to Weapons? No, we don't. I said it, I made a short about this today. Warner Bros. Is considering making a Weapons prequel, talking about a certain aspect to it that I don't want to say because it is still a very fresh movie that just kind of came out. But do we need a Weapons prequel? Not really, but if they make it, I'll see it, is kind of where I'm at with it. Like, of course I'll watch it. I loved Weapons. I will see more of that. But I don't know. I don't need a prequel, man. I don't need it. I can't say why, but if you watch the short today, maybe you know. But we don't need more about what was going on there, in my humble opinion. And KC Max also throwing a 5 out there. Thank you so much for the support, dude. How's your day going? My day's going fantastic, man. Seriously, things are going great. I'm very lucky. I'm very blessed to be doing what I'm doing. So I'm having a great week. I love life, man. You gotta love life. I have a lovely lady coming home and hanging out with me this afternoon. Coming home from work very soon here, and I can't wait. I'm just a happy guy. What can I say? So life is good. Life is good, and you got to make life good if you can. You got to make life the best it can possibly be. But thank you so much, Casey. Hope you're doing well as well. But lots of love. And David Primero coming in with the 10 out of 10 super chat. We love to see it. David, thanks for the $2, my friend. Saying, can we get Anna Faris as an opening kill in Scream? That would be so fucking awesome to see somebody from Scary Movie in Scream. You know, there's been a lot of weird hatred about Melissa Barrera potentially joining Scary Movie 6. I don't get that. I don't understand that at all. People are like, she's going to burn the bridge. She's never going to be in Scream again. Dog, that bridge has been ash for a very long time. I promise you that. She is not going to be in any new Scream movies as long as Spyglass holds the rights, and they're not giving that up anytime soon. That is their flagship series right now, maybe even outside the realm of horror even. That's how big that is for them. They are going to do as many Scream properties as they can fucking muster. They're going to milk that teat all day long. So I don't mind. Melissa Barrera doing Scary Movie 6 is natural. It's awesome. It's hilarious. I'm here for it. And I don't know. I think there's this mentality that Scary Movie 6 is going to like just ruin Scream's reputation. It's not. It didn't ruin its reputation back in 2000. It's not going to do that here. It's only going to amplify the love for Ghostface, for Scary Movie and all these things. We did a whole stream about this week with the Lethal Collective because it's been something that's been on my mind quite a bit because of how people are talking about it. I don't think Scary Movie is malicious towards the movies it's talking about or sort of ripping on. It's just juvenile punk humor. That's all it is. And also, I wanted to make this point early on in that stream because I really do mean it. And even though it frustrates me, it's true. And it's not a bad thing. When the majority of people, unfortunately, when they think of Ghostface, they think of that guy right there. They don't think so much of that guy right there. Believe it or not, I know this might be frustrating to you, but most people know Ghostface from Scary Movie, the Wazza. That's where most people know him from. That's why Ghostface is this cultural icon. He's a slasher in 2 different franchises. You can't name anybody else who is that. That is why Ghostface is cream of the crop, baby, top of the list, one of the most popular out there. How many franchises do you got with that? I mean, that's crazy. So my thing, Scary Movie is part of the reason why Scream is such a big hit in the cultural zeitgeist. I feel it's because of Scary Movie that it hits a different a totally different audience, right? I mean, if you're somebody who doesn't like scary movies, you might have seen Scary Movie and enjoyed it because it is just ripping on horror movies. It's funny, it's not scary, and I think that's the fun of it. So I don't know. I think that I don't, for me, if Scary Movie and Scream crossed lines with actors, with people being in one or the other, whatever, that's not going to harm either franchise. It hasn't ever before. I don't think it will here either. So even if Scream 7 sucks, which I don't think it's going to I don't think it's going to be a bomb. I don't think it's going to be like a disaster of a film. I really don't. I have my doubts, but I don't think it's going to be a 0 out of 10. No way is a Scream film going to be that bad. I just don't buy it. I can't see Scary Movie 6 potentially having Melissa Barrera ruin her chances to come back to the franchise. That's not going to be the reason why, I promise. She has standards, she has morals, and I think she's not going to work with a company that she feels the way she does about. You know, you know what I mean? She's said very negative things about Spyglass. They've said very negative things about her. It's to me, it's a level of character if she decided to then go back. I don't know. I would lose some respect for Melissa Barrera if she decided to go work with Spyglass again. Honestly, I think she's committed to the bit at this point. So I not committed to the bit's the wrong way to say that. You know what I mean? She's took a stance on something and she's saying it with her full chest, and I think that's awesome. Rock on to her. We love Melissa Barrera in this house. I am also excited for Scream. I think you can support Melissa and you can also love Scream at the same time. There's nothing wrong with that. That's one of the weird things happening in the world these days, I feel. But we're not going to get into all that. Anyways, I'm excited for both of these films at the end of the day. I have a little more faith in Scary Movie 6, but I am definitely more excited for Scream 7 because it's one of my favorite slasher franchises, and I can't wait to see what it's all about, baby. But Anna Faris and Scream, that would be hilarious. I'd be so down for that. There's nothing wrong with these two franchises crossing lines. They're not going to ruin one or the other. Josh Idle is saying, damn, I hate prequels. Like, everything feels so predictable with them. You know, it's really hard for me to argue with that, Josh. Honestly, it really is. Prequels are... I almost feel like just doing a prequel in general, in a way, is always shooting yourself in the foot. You do get into a lot of things that are predictable, right? You get into things that are likely thoughts that have already gone through the fans' heads, and you're trying to find a way to still surprise them with those ideas 9 times out of 10. But sometimes there are prequels that find a way to do it, find a way to build out this world in a really interesting and unique way. I think Alien Earth is actually a great example of this so far, and I know we haven't seen all of it yet. But it's completely disconnected from most of the storylines from other Alien movies so far. Like, it's kind of just doing its own thing with companies and ideals that we didn't really even know about before. And now we might learn a whole new element to Weyland-Yutani that we never knew in the past and could totally influence the way we look at Alien 1979 forever. Good prequels exist. You can do them. Like, it's possible to make a good prequel. It's just really, really fucking tough. And not every franchise or movie needs it. But sometimes when you have a universe that is so big, especially like the Alien franchise, you can find ways to kind of go back in time and maybe showcase something that would have been could add on to the movies in the future. But rule of thumb, in just a general sense, the only reason you should ever make a prequel, the only time a franchise ever needs a prequel, is if you have a really interesting idea that could make you look at the original film in a totally different way by showing a story that happened before the events of the original. That's the only way you could justify a prequel to anything, in my opinion. Otherwise, you're just making more content. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's just it right there. Otherwise, you're just making content. And you can make, like, we can make 1,000 more Scream movies. We could, but are we going to do something actually interesting with the idea? Are we going to go left where we usually go right? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see a Scream movie where it's just like the same old every single time. I don't want to get 7 more Scream movies where it's just girl on a phone call gets killed at the beginning of the movie, and then 2 guys get revealed as the Ghostface killers who are upset that the final girls, I don't know, something, they're just, you try to change it like a little bit, you know, they're upset with the final girl's mom sleeping with the dad. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's just, it's the original Scream again. Do something different, have some balls, take it down a different direction. Come on now. I don't know. I want to, from any franchise, I want to see them try different things, add new ideas into the mix. And Alien Earth, I think, is doing that really well right now. But I agree. I think the majority of prequels they're just content. They're just like, yeah, we just made this to make another one. And this is the only place it would work in the timeline. And it's like, that sucks. That's why I wasn't crazy about The First Omen. Everybody loved that movie. Everybody was like, The First Omen's the greatest thing I've ever seen. And there is really cool elements to it. But man, it did nothing. It adds nothing to the experience of watching the original Omen. I needed something. I needed a reason to tell this story. It added nothing to me. It was just content. That's all it was. And that's why it kind of bummed me out a little bit. Even if there was some really cool artistic direction with some of the shots and the story. Things to appreciate. It wasn't dog water by any means, but just not a necessary story, in my opinion. Didn't justify an argument to exist. Which, yes, that is how brutal I am about prequels. Who else is with us? We got King Matthew III saying, I'd like to see another sequel to Tremors with Kevin Bacon. Me too, dude. Returning as the lead character. Maybe they could explain that Earl was killed by graboids to write Fred Ward's character out. I would love to see Burt Gummer come back too in some way, shape, or form, who is also canonically dead in the series because of that terrible last film. Dear God. I would love to see him and Kevin Bacon somehow just come back. Do a direct sequel to the original. Fuck it. Who cares? That could be fun. I feel like the story of Tremors got so just outrageous at a certain point. Just restart. Just tell a brand new story. Who cares? Child's Play fan is saying, do you think the opening of 7 would be the Carpenter sisters being reported killed? No. Oh my God. Yeah, you want to leave a bad taste in fans' mouths? That's how you do it. That's how you piss off half your fan base in a single second. They cannot dark fate us, man. They cannot Terminator dark fate us and just say, oh, these characters are dead, we're gonna tell a new story. Fuck you. The opening scene to Terminator Dark Fate is literally like if the filmmakers just came out on screen and gave us the middle finger, said fuck you, watch our new movie. That's basically what Terminator Dark Fate is. And if Scream 7 does that, that's it's not a real good way to sell me on your movie, you know? There's a reason that movie failed, and Scream 7 would be doing the exact same thing if they did that. If they gotta respect the Carpenter sisters, just like how they did with Nev Campbell when she couldn't be in 6. They gotta say they are out somewhere and they are safe. Because if they don't, fans are gonna fucking lose their shit. I will tell you that right now. If they kill them in this movie, a lot of people are gonna be upset. And, you know, a movie can make money, but if it gets enough negative press, maybe no one wants another sequel. So I'm just saying. There's a reason we haven't heard a whole lot about that Halloween TV show since Halloween Ends came out. That's all, you know. It's weird. Why is there no I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel yet, you know? I don't know. Maybe it's because of... Maybe money isn't everything, but that's just me. Picky 180 is saying the best prequels are Final Destination 5 and 6, if 6 counts as a prequel. 5, I think absolutely yes. But 5 is a great prequel because of the twist. You know what I mean? Like 5 is a great prequel because it ends the way it does. And then it's like, oh shit. Oh, man, like, no way. They were on the flight the whole time. See, that adds something to the original Final Destination. Now, every time I watch that movie, I'm thinking the characters from 5 are on that fucking plane. They're in the airport right now, going to Paris. I love that, personally. That adds something. It adds something unexpected to the original Final Destination, which is a lot of fun for me. So even something like that, it doesn't have to be something that's like a groundbreaking twist that reinvents the whole movie how you watch it. It could just be something like that, like what Final Destination 5 does to the original Final Destination, saying that these characters were there the whole time. That is so cool to me. That doesn't ruin the story of 1. It just adds to the story of 5 in a lot of ways. So there are good prequels. That's a great example of one, Picky Piggy. Sloppenheimer is with us. What's up, dog? How's it going? Saying, I know this is a hot take, but I'd like to see Chad shift into the co-main character. I'd like the thought of a previously established side character living on to earn the final guy-girl role. I can't speak to that. I can't speak to that at all, but here's what I can say. I am a big fan of what they're doing with Chad and Mindy. That is all I'm going to say. I'm a big fan. Big fan. No notes. You're going to like what they do with Chad and Mindy in Scream 7. That's all I'm going to say. I can't, do not ask me to elaborate on that. I will not. I cannot. I've said too much. Casey Mack is saying, have the killer get away and not be revealed at the end of the movie. That could be fun. Again, you know, that's an idea we haven't explored. Execute it the right way. That could be done real well. I would love the idea of doing a cliffhanger between Scream 7 and Scream 8. That's fun. Why not? A lot of people are like, oh, well, that could be bad for this reason, that reason, whatever. It's something they haven't done before. You know what I mean? Give me that. Come on. Give me something else at the end besides just happy ending. Yay. You know, the sun is rising. The killers are dead. No, come on. Let's do something else with Scream. If only we could get a Nightmare on Elm Street series or something new from A Nightmare on Elm Street, says Michael C. I agree. I want a new Nightmare on Elm Street film. Well, we do have Black Phone 2 coming out, which is kind of weirdly the same thing. We're seeing Gwenny have weird dreams about the grabber. We're seeing all these Nightmare on Elm Street style visuals in the film from the trailer. I feel like Black Phone 2 is basically a Nightmare on Elm Street film. I'm excited for it. Real hyped for it. Can't wait to see what that's all about. Mandy Jean is saying, I feel like the Langoliers could be a great remake. I would love to see more with that. That's a real good that's a real good King property. I don't know what word just came out of my mouth. Yeah, I would love to see something more from that. That'd be fun, Mandy. Victor Simpson is saying, can't wait when the remake of The Blob comes out. What is going on with that? We got the announcement at the top of last year that David Bruckner was doing The Blob remake. Haven't heard anything about it since. Nothing. I mean, not an ounce of an update. Not sure what's going on with that. A lot of David Bruckner projects go under the wayside, though, which I think is always really unfortunate when that happens because he's had a lot of really good ideas. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but he was supposed to make a Friday the 13th film in the middle of the 2010s, and that just, of course, blew up because the rights were so complicated. But that was actually only a few years after the 2009 remake. I think it was 2013. They announced that, yeah, new Friday the 13th movie is coming out. David Bruckner is going to write and direct it or something, and nothing came of that, obviously, which is really a shame, I think. Casey Mack is saying, we talked about versus movies last week. How about this, Gremlins versus Critters? See, that totally fits to me because those are two very similar franchises. Like those two fan bases are definitely fans of one or the other and or the other, if that makes sense. Yeah, I could totally see something like that working. Critters come to Earth and fight a bunch of gremlins who manage to get wet. I mean, come on, that. Gremlins 3 is happening, by the way. I don't know if you guys have heard anything about that. That's something I've been meaning to make a video on, but again, just too much is going on. So much news is coming out in the last couple of weeks. It's been exciting. Gremlins 3 is there's a script that's been approved and greenlit. They're making it happen. I can't remember if there was any confirmed directors or anything along those lines, but yeah, Gremlins 3, we're finally getting that, which is exciting. So. Everyone wanted more after Gremlins 2, after how good that movie was. So that's so funny. Austin Allman, I like this idea quite a bit. Thoughts on a tsunami for a Final Destination? I think that would be cool as fuck. I totally agree. A tsunami would be really interesting. I like the idea of doing a natural disaster. I feel like it's always like man-made disasters in these movies, but like doing something along those lines, that's very fresh. I feel like we haven't really seen something like that in the franchise before. A tsunami, an earthquake, a hurricane. I mean, something like that. There's a lot. Wow, there's a lot you could do with a natural disaster for an opening scene. I like that. I might make a video about that, Austin. I'm gonna write that down. I had just 2 or 3 big thoughts pop up there. Made some notes. Anyways, moving forward with this. Yeah, Erica is reminding everybody, go subscribe to the gaming channel if you have not already. That would be awesome. Would definitely help us out quite a bit. We are trying to hit that next level of monetization. We only need like 800, 900 hours, somewhere in between there. That's not too bad. We already made it past 3,000, so I think we can get up to 4K very soon here. So go subscribe to the gaming channel. Check out some of the streams. We're streaming a bunch this week. Stop on by. It'll be fun. What else is going on? Mandy Jean says, "Oh, you're onto something." Yeah. Nope. Not saying anything else. Hearing you say that about them actually makes me happy and gives me confidence about some aspects of this movie. Yeah, I'm as a Core 4 fan, I'm happy with what they're doing with Chad and Mindy. That's all I'm gonna say. You can actually see Molly's legs on a news report in Final Destination 1 in the scene where Alex is watching news about Flight 180. I mean, I don't know about that, but I can say I think it's I think it's cool that they're able to add something to Final Destination 1 years and years later. Enzo Borghetto, what's going on, dude? Hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here, dude. I saw that you supported me on Patreon recently, and I really appreciated that, dude. Thank you. You're saying I also run a horror-focused channel called Horror Enzo with 30,000 subs. Would love to make a video talking horror with you. Absolutely, dude. Yeah, and dude, rock on, man. I'm gonna subscribe right now. Horror Enzo, is that what it is? I'll check it out, man. You hit 30K too? That's awesome, dude. Rock on, rock on. Congrats. Yeah, you like just hit 30K. Rock on, man. Good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, we'll have to talk sometime, man. Let me know. Hit me up on Instagram and all those different places. I'll be around. I'm always down for some collabing. Collabing and And Labin. That doesn't even make any sense. But yeah, Enzo, let me know. Let me know. Keep me updated on that. That'd be fun. Will be a lot of fun for sure. And again, thank you for your support, my friend. Really do appreciate it quite a bit. Picky Piggy is saying a ski resort premonition would be cool in Final Destination 7. That could be sick. I'm down for that. Maybe like an avalanche or something comes down and just totally ruins a bunch of people. You can get people stuck on like a ski lift and they get like cut in half by the wire that snaps or something. There's a lot you could do with a ski resort. Oh yeah. You know what else would be kind of fun? Like a ski resort usually has like a lodge with like a big fire. Maybe someone gets pushed into that. Like you would think, oh, everyone's going to die because they're going to freeze to death or they're going to avalanche. Someone burns to death in a fucking, in a lodge somewhere. That could be really cool. It'd be a cool visual of someone like on fire with snow all around him. Almost reminds me of like Fargo or something like that, you know? That could be sick. Okay, yeah, I like that. Shooting in the snow is a fucking nightmare, but man, it pays off. It pays off, baby. So, definitely very into that. Love me some snow set horrors. Madison is joining us too. What is up, Madison? Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. What else is going on? KC Mack is saying, yeah, people getting stuck on ski lifts reminds me of Frozen. Not the Frozen you're thinking of. Not Let It Go, but the the other Frozen, the horror film. The movie that a lot of moms likely put on and were and terrified and traumatized their kids. I like this movie. That's a pretty good movie, though. I like both Frozens for totally different reasons. But I do like the ski resort idea. That could be fun. Lots of different crazy kills I feel you could have happen there. That would be fun. Madison is reminding me to hit live chat because I always fuck that up. Pat and Jester is saying a ski resort would be badass, but what would you think about Final Destination 7 taking place in space? Do we need to go to space already? Like, are we that out of ideas with Final Destination? We got to take it to space. Okay, can I throw something out there? If there's any franchise that should go to space, I don't think it should, but I think there's potential for a space movie. Because I think when you go to space, that's when your franchise is like done for. You're out of ideas. There's nothing else to do. Let's just go to space. Why not? I would love to see a Saw movie in space. Not for the story. The story would be atrocious. Would be 0 out of 10 story. But the traps, zero gravity Saw traps. Tell me there's not potential for some crazy bullshit, dude. I mean, come on. That would be awesome. I want it. I want it so bad. I want zero gravity Saw traps in my life. I need that movie at some point. When we're at like Saw 20, can we get that? Like, is that when we can like just decide we're going to kill the franchise today? I need that in my life. I need that like yesterday. Give me 10 more good movies, you know, or sorry, give me 9 more good movies. And then we can talk about doing that. Davey Deathray saying Evil Dead in space, aka a reimagining of Event Horizon. Yeah, basically. I could vibe with that, honestly. There's a lot of good space movies, but like slasher franchises or established franchises going to space, that's where it's like, okay, what the fuck, you know? That's where it gets a little sketch. But I do like the idea of like like if you were to do an original film, like Evil Dead, but in space, that could be fun. That could be real cool. Evil Dead wouldn't even be that insane to do in space, though. I feel, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, Evil Dead in space wouldn't even be that crazy. I feel like what works for me about that is the fact that the book can pop up anywhere. That's been such a constant across the last 2 movies, especially. Just the book being in all these weird different places. If it's like the cabin again or the apartment complex, I'm sure the next movie is also going to have a weird setting. Why not do an Evil Dead in space? I mean, that could be fucking insane. I would not be against that, honestly. Madison's putting a post-it note on my monitor when she gets home. You're gonna super glue it there. I appreciate that. Honestly, I do. Because for whatever reason, the default setting here is just some of the chats. But I want to get all them chats in there. I want to see all them crazy chats come through. So. And I think Casey Mack is saying Evil Dead in space is pretty much Dead Space. Here's the thing, though. Here's my thing. Evil Dead Rise is kind of just what's that? There's a movie. What's the Italian Evil Dead movie? Oh my god. Fuck. Why can't I think of this? Mario Bava. I know the fucking director. Demons. Demons. I knew that. It's basically just Demons 2, but they did something fresh with it. Is it Mario Bava? Who the fuck did that movie? Demons. Who did Demons 2? I don't know. Lamberto Bava. I forgot about that. Okay, yeah. It's basically just Demons. If you've seen Demons 2, let's be real here. Evil Dead Rise is kind of a soft remake of Demons 2. But point being, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind them doing like Dead Space in Evil Dead. That could be fun. I think that would be fun. Yeah, Dario Argento is a producer on this film. He specifically did not direct it, which I always used to say. I'm like, oh, didn't Dario Argento direct that? No, it's Lamberto Bava. I always forget that. That's like, isn't that like Mario Bava's like brother or something? If I'm not mistaken. Oh no, that's his son. Oh shit, I didn't even fucking know that. That's crazy. These are fun movies, though, if you've never seen them. Demons and Demons 2 are both very, very good, in my opinion. I have a lot of love for these crazy, weird little Italian horror flicks. Child's Play Fan is saying, do you really think killing off Sam and Tara would affect the fan base as much, since they are technically secondary main characters? I just don't think they had the same impact as John Connor in Terrifier 2, in Terminator 2. Yes, because they're the new characters. See, here's the thing. If we killed Sidney Prescott off in Scream 3, do you think the fan base would have been upset with that? You know what I mean? It's kind of the same thing, right? The new fans who have just come and discovered Scream for the first time within the last couple of years, they've attached themselves much more so to Sam Carpenter and Tara versus Sidney Prescott. Let's just call it what it is. You know, it's the stars of the new age. It's the same thing. It is the same thing. Scream 5 and Scream 6 were wildly successful movies. They've added to the requel craze in a big way. And I think that had they killed Sidney in Scream 3, it would be the same thing as killing Sam here in Scream 7. And doing it off screen is like, it's just it's distasteful is what it is. If you're going to kill a character in a horror movie, at least bring them back on, give them a paycheck at the very least. So I don't know. I think that would be that would be a review bomb incident if they did something like that, and I really don't think they will. I really think they will respect the character, and as they should. Why kill her off? The only thing you gain by killing her off is by pissing off fans. That's the only thing you're gonna get from killing her off, opposed to just saying, oh, she's back in New York, she's safe with Tara. That's all I need. I just need Chad or Mindy to say that like once, and then it will be golden. Austin is saying, I can't wait for Scream 19 to introduce Ghost Space. It's coming, baby. You know it's coming. Oh, man, that's funny. Picky Piggy is saying, Final Destination is honestly a franchise where a space-based movie would work well. That could be insane. A bunch of astronauts on a space station. Final Destination can kind of happen to anybody, too. So I don't think it would be totally I don't think it would be ridiculous to do a space movie. You know, I agree. I don't think it would. I think that would actually kind of play well. Davey Deathray is saying, I like how Italian horror filmmakers are like hockey players. They are only about 3 last names you have to remember. That's so true. That's so funny. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with that at all. All very similar, all very similar last names. There is some great Italian horror flicks though, especially from the 70s, but across all of time, I feel like Dario Argento is maybe one of the most known, but Lucio Fulci might be my absolute favorite. I know Zombie, I always forget some of his other movies, but yeah, Zombie is like one of my favorite, it's just one of my favorite horror movies. It's so much fun, but The Beyond, City of the Living Dead, and House by the Cemetery, all very good too. The New York Ripper is goofy as fuck. But I kind of love it as well. Lucio Fulci's got a great catalog. He's very much so the Italian George Romero. That's kind of how I feel about him. But really good catalog of crazy ass movies. A lot of good stuff from him. But Argento, you gotta love a good giallo, you know, you gotta love a good old school giallo flick. They're just fun. They got some crazy music and bloody kills. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna vibe with that. The twists are bad, but that's kind of the point, I feel. It's the point to have a really cheesy, over the top twist. Dario Argento came out with a movie a couple years ago that I absolutely loved, and I feel like it captured the spirit of his old school movies. What was the fucking name of that? Like Dark Glasses or something? I don't know if anybody has watched that here, but man, I recommend that very weird movie. That was a lot of fun. Dario, I'm looking this up. Yeah. Yeah, it was a 2022 movie. This made my top 10 of the year. I loved this movie so much. Fucking insane movie, man. Oh my God. So much to love about this. I forgot about this movie. Haven't thought about that in forever. But yeah, Dario Argento, definitely a great director to get into if you like some old school classic cinema. What else do we got going on here? Child's Play fan is saying, are we going to get a trailer soon for Scream 7? Well, you know, it's definitely, we're definitely getting closer. We learned from the composer Marco Beltrami that he would wrap up the score for this film sometime this month, a very long time ago. Meaning when that happens, that's usually like one of the final steps in post-production is doing the score to a film. You have to have it all pretty much done before you do a score. I mean, how else could you sync all that up, time it all up, yada yada. So music is usually the last thing done on a film. So that likely means post-production on the flick is concluding soon or has already concluded. I'm not sure, but that's when the marketing phase usually tends to begin. So I can imagine we get a full a trailer's probably gonna be cut across the next couple of months or so. Probably through September, and then we'll probably get it sometime in like November, December, I would guess. I wouldn't expect it any earlier than that. It would be kind of a surprise if we got it earlier, in my opinion. Why I say that is because the film releases in late February, basically having its theatrical run throughout March. So you don't want to like horror movies especially, you don't want to market them too far in advance unless it's like a huge release, but this is a slasher flick. You know what I mean? It's Scream 7. Let's be real here. Don't say it's going to be fun. It's going to be goofy, but it's not going to be the horror film of next year. It's just not. So they'll probably start marketing it sometime in late November at the earliest. I could totally see a trailer coming out maybe that last week of November, without a doubt. But I said this a little while ago, but I'm like, it would be kind of cool if they started marketing it on December 20th, the day the original film came out. That could be kind of cool because next year is the anniversary for, is that the 30th? Yeah, the 30th anniversary of the original Scream is next year. And it would be kind of cool if they almost honor that on the 29th anniversary this year in a weird sort of way. But let's be real, we probably get the trailer in late November. That would be my guess. 3 months out before this one comes out. So don't hold your breath throughout spooky season. It's probably not going to come out until basically getting into this winter. Have I ever seen I have not seen Popcorn. I've seen the poster for this, KC Mac. I know what you're talking about. It's got it's green. It's got a girl with her head top cut off or something, right? I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I got to check that out, though, for sure. Davey Deathrays, actually, this is a pretty good prediction. You're saying that the Scream 7 teaser is going to drop with Black Phone 2. Then we get the full trailer in December. I could see that. I could totally see them dropping a teaser a little early just to be marketed alongside another big release. I could see that being the case. I like the idea of doing a teaser, a less than a minute teaser for the film. Come out in October and then do the full trailer in December. That makes a lot of sense in my opinion. I also feel like they're going to do everything in their power to make sure that this film is received well. So they're definitely going to market the shit out of it. They're worried about this film. Let's be honest. I said this earlier, but Spyglass, this is basically their flagship series. Scream it's got to work for them. And if it doesn't, that would be not good for the company. So they are going to market the shit out of this movie. It's going to be the Flash 2.0 is going to be my guess. Once that marketing campaign starts, it ain't going to fucking end until February 27th. It's going to be bam, 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 bam. They're going to throw out as much shit as they possibly can. We're probably going to know everything about the movie before it even comes out. I'm very much so. I'm very, very, very confident in that prediction. There's going to be a lot shown in the trailers. We're going to know a lot about this movie before it even drops, unfortunately, I feel. No Name is saying, I haven't joined in a little bit. Finally back. What's up, No Name? Welcome in. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for being here. Triple Glax also with us. What's up? What's up? Doesn't Five Nights at Freddy's 2 already have a trailer? Yes, it does. That already came out. I didn't cover it. I watched it, but I didn't really have a whole. I don't know. Didn't have a whole lot to say. I'm excited for it. I hope it's better than the first one, and we'll see what it's all about this December. What's going on? Is there any Halloween horror movies coming out this year? Halloween horror movies. Well, yeah, VHS Halloween is. It's got Halloween in the friggin' title. How about them apples? So yeah, we got at least one. I know at least about one. Mr. L is hanging out with us. What's up, Mr. L? Saying, "Hey Jake, have you seen Alien Earth yet?" Yes, I put out my review of the first 2 episodes. Check it out, Mr. L. I liked them quite a bit. I had a few tiny issues, but for the most part, mostly positive things to say. I'm really digging the series so far. Can't wait to see where it goes. But I did have some funny things I had to say. There was one moment in episode 1 that both me and my fiance were just like, okay, I don't know about that. Which I thought was really fun. It was really funny. We were both just like, we were both so in agreement that did not play the right way, how they meant it, which I thought was very funny. But some surprising campiness to this show is something I was not expecting about it. So I was kind of excited to get into that, especially. That was kind of the focal point of my review, I feel. Ty Lee is hanging out with us again, saying, "Glad you're still on. Just got home from work. I was on lunch earlier." Damn, so I worked through the back half of your... I streamed through the back half of your shift. That's crazy. Well, welcome back, dog. Thanks for being here. Hope work wasn't too bad. Hope it wasn't too nasty today. Sloppenheimer is saying, "Would you prefer Dead by Daylight to release Sydney and Dewey as survivors with Gale as a legendary skin, or all 3 survivors release together?" I would say Sydney, Gale as a skin, and then do Dewey and like Randy as a skin. You know what I mean? I feel like that could be fun. And I don't think it would be like devaluing Gale as a character. It would just say like, well, we have 2 models essentially that you can play as, like a male and a female survivor against Ghostface. I would be fine with that. That'd be cool. Oh, and yeah, Erica just posted a link to the Alien Earth review. Yeah, definitely check it out. So much I had to talk about. Mr. L, you're kind of on the same page. Like, good start, but there are some issues. I agree. I'm really loving a lot of what I'm seeing in Alien Earth. A lot of the new ideas are really working for me, but there's some goofy shit in there. Let me tell you that not all of it worked for me, but some of it did. I think you'll be surprised with what worked and what didn't for me. There's one thing that's getting ripped apart. One element of the show that is kind of getting ripped apart on the internet right now, which I think is very funny. But I didn't mind it. I weirdly did not mind it. I understand it, but yeah, that's what I'll say. Yeah, Patton, definitely. Here, honestly, you got to watch it, because if you're a fan of the original Alien, they did such a good job at recreating the vibe of the 1979 movie. That's like maybe the biggest positive I have to throw its way. The vibes are so there. It feels right out of like Ridley Scott's precise vision for this franchise. You know, Fede Alvarez with Alien Romulus, I really like that movie, but it is definitely Fede's own take on Alien. You know what does that make sense? This one feels so much more in line with Ridley Scott. Maybe that's because he's serving as a producer on the show. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure how much creative control he has over everything, but it does feel very much more Ridley Scott Alien than anything, which is, it's really, it's nice. It's not refreshing is the wrong word. It feels very nostalgic. Feels like a callback to the past of this franchise, where obviously it's taken so many different twists and turns throughout the years. So many different creators have come on and given their own vision. Some things have been good, some things, well, not so great. If that's because of production issues, if that's because of direction maybe this franchise didn't necessarily need to go in. Cough, cough, Alien Resurrection. I can't stand Joss Whedon's humor. I don't know, man. But yeah, I'm loving this new show. I'm loving everything we're getting from the Alien franchise lately. Lots of good stuff. Dude, both Alien and Predator, holy fuck, what a time to be a fan of these franchises. Am I right? Alien Earth is pretty damn good. Alien Romulus was great. I'm really fucking vibing with all the Predator stuff, man. Prey and Killer of Killers were just so good. Badlands looks like it's gonna just absolutely destroy top 10 lists this year. If you're Alien and Predator fans are eating right now. Eaten big time, man. Man, it's good stuff. It's good stuff all the way around. So I'm definitely a happy little fanboy here, let me tell you. Casey Mack is saying, I don't know if this would be considered a spoiler. I'm glad they didn't hide the aspect of the aliens to the last episode of the season. I feel like it's not a spoiler, but I will say I was surprised with how much the xenomorphs are actually in the show so far. That's not a spoiler. I don't feel like it is. I haven't said why or how. They're in there. They're in there quite a bit. Like, you'll be shocked how much they're used, which is cool. 2025 is a good year for movies and shows. It is triple Galax. I was saying this. I don't know if I said this during my weapons review or what it was, but I gotta say, like, 2022 is my favorite year I've covered on this page of horror. 2025 is slowly taking that gold medal away, though. 2025 has been like so good. There's been some stinkers, but man, the good movies have just been phenomenal. Like, the hits have been hitting where, like, last year for me, a lot of people were like, dude, 2024 was such a good year for horror. But I don't know, a lot of the movies I was really highly anticipated ended up missing with me big time. This year, the hits have hit. For me at least. So I'm excited to see what else this year brings. I think if Black Phone 2 is really good and VHS Halloween, I'm going to call this year my favorite year for horror that I've ever covered. But we'll see. We'll see how the rest of the year pans out for sure. Still a lot of big releases to come, man. The next 3 months are going to be fucking chaos. Every week there is something coming out that I'm really excited for. So I cannot wait to see what else comes from this crazy year. Fort Misery Gaming is saying, Jake, I missed the end of your collective stream on Monday. Did you ever give your opinion on the topic of Scream 5 and Scream 6? What do you mean? What hit me with the question again. What in what way? What opinion on the topic of Scream 5 and 6? Throw the question at me again regarding those films. Because I remember something came up about those two, and I do not remember what it was. So throw that out my way. 2025 has been that good. I'm so behind on this year. I've only seen Bloodlines. Wait, no way, really? You've only seen, like, that's it? Like that, like, dude. Oh man, there's a lot of movies this year. You know what? Let me pull up my list, like where I'm at with ranking movies and shit. But man, shit, my top 10 list this year, I mean, I'm very happy with it. Like, every movie, there was a year, I can't remember which one it was, but there was a movie in my top 10 of the year that I was like, there's like 2 movies I think I was kind of just like, whatever about these. I mean, yeah, dude, yeah. Weapons, 28 Years Later, Together, Sinners, Killer of Killers. I love these 2 movies, but most people hated them. I don't know. Grafted and Ash are in my top 10. Bloodlines, Dangerous Animals, Bring Her Back, Marshmallow, The Monkey. Oh man, all of those are fucking superb in my opinion. Eddington and The Shrouds too, if you want some indies, some real weird indies. Presence, I think, is one of the biggest standout supernatural haunted house flicks, in my humble opinion, which I don't know if I might be alone in that boat too. I loved Presence. I thought that was such a unique horror film. I loved that quite a bit. I would own that movie. It was like a Conjuring movie, but from the perspective of the ghost. That was so cool. I don't know. Really fucking cool idea there, and an excellent ending. I don't know. So much I loved about Presence. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Doesn't make my top 10 of the year, but it's a really good watch. If you like ghost movies just in general, you gotta put that one on. Teddy is hanging out with us. What's up? What's up? Good evening, Jake in chat. How are you, Terrifier? Hope you're doing well this afternoon. Thanks for being with us. We're gonna have to play some Repo sometime this week, dude. I really want to get into a Repo stream at some point. It's been too long. Or we got to play some games. I don't know. Something. Whatever you're feeling. Fort Misery Gaming is saying, so in your collective stream, Fate Decided went on a huge tirade. He does that a lot. On how he said 5 and 6 were so bad, but you never got to say your piece of the subject. I'm trying to think. I don't know. 5 and 6. Everyone says this. Everyone's like 5 and 6 are terrible movies. They don't fit with the franchise. I disagree. I think Screams 5 and 6, while they have their problems, I think they are very much so in line with all of the other Scream sequels. I think I have issues with them, yes, but I also have issues with Scream 2 and Scream 3 and Scream 4. I love all these movies, but none of them are perfect. I don't think none of the Scream sequels live up to the absolute brilliance of the original. There's an issue with all 5 of them so far. And I just think it's impossible for a Scream sequel to top the original. It's just, it can't happen. It won't happen. I'm never going into a Scream sequel. I didn't go into 5 or 6 expecting it to top the original. That's just not something that I feel is even remotely possible because of the influence that that original film has, what it did for the genre, how much fun it is, how like non-convoluted the story is. Yet, I don't know, man. You can't top that original Scream. It's perfect how it is. And some of the sequels have gotten close with some elements. Like I think I would argue that there are better motives in some of the sequels. That's definitely they've topped elements to the original film for sure. But I don't think there's a movie that as a whole tops the original 96 film. I don't think not even one comes close. I love all the Scream movies. It's a great franchise to watch. I don't think there's a bad movie in the bunch. But yeah, they all got issues, man. They all got issues. But I still like them. 5 and 6, though, they're good movies. They're solid. I don't know. I really don't get the hate for them. Do they have low spots? Yeah, absolutely. But it's, I don't know. I think people look at Screams 2 through 4 and they have this same gold standard for them that Scream 1 does. And I just can't put them up there with that. With that original movie. They're just not as good as that first one. 5 and 6, yeah, they have problems, but so do 2, 3, and 4, man. So this isn't even like a victim of comparison argument either. It's just they all have I have very similar feelings about all 5 of the Scream sequels. I like them, but they all have an issue. They all have they're lacking in some department. In some places multiple departments, in some places only like 1 or 2 things. But I really do love them all, and they're all very fun movies, even if not all of them are perfect. Reign of Horror is hanging out with us. Yo, 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 what is up? Welcome in, welcome in. What else is going on? Ty Lee is saying, I saw The Monkey. I was out of work for a while. Can't wait to catch up. I'm going to buy so many movies when I get situated. All good, dude. No worries, dude. Yeah, all those movies I just listed, you got to watch. Like, man, those are not all of them are great, but I think all of them are must watches. I also really like Jurassic World Rebirth. That was fun, man. That was a good watch. Again, not great, doesn't make my top 10 necessarily, but I did like Jurassic World Rebirth. It was a very fun movie. People said last year wasn't great, but we had some bangers last year. 2024 did have some bangers, though. Like, there was some really good movies from last year. I think 2025 has been better already, in my humble opinion, but man, there was some good stuff. Like, just looking at my 2024 top 10, yeah, like The Substance, Terrifier 3, Smile 2, Strange Darling. Kind of a dark horse here, kind of a movie that's sneaking up into this list. I loved Mr. Crockett over on Hulu. That was a fucking banger. Nosferatu, oh my God, Alien Romulus, In a Violent Nature, Late Night with the Devil, Immaculate. Did I say VHS Beyond? VHS Beyond was good. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff from 2024 for sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, old Jake has got to be signing off. I will be live again on Friday. We are actually doing a tier list on Friday that you will be able to join in on. It's going to be a very fun stream. Don't miss it. It's going to be, honest to God, the tier list streams have been some of my favorite to do, and I can't wait to get into it. So I may or may not be covering Friday the 13th, the new short film dropping at 8 p.m. tonight, Sweet Revenge. I might be covering that late tonight. I'm either going to cover it late tonight or early tomorrow morning, but I also have a Terrifier 3 update that I want to get myself into. So new videos still to come this week. New video going up on the gaming channel. Check out the stream tomorrow as well, playing Alien Isolation. I'm so excited to get into that tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern on the gaming channel. And as always, fellas, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.